Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Moviepass, which is a new service I've been using for about the last 1 to 2 months. And I know before I started on Moviepass, I was pretty skeptical about what was actually going to work, what was not going to work. Is this like a legit service? I know what you may be thinking, that it's a scam. So basically, I'm here to share my experience, my personal experience with Moviepass, what I've really liked, what I have not liked, what's been more problematic, and just overall my experience. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, then just keep watching. So let's get into this with the pros and cons of Moviepass. So I'm going to assume at this point, if you're watching this video, you probably know generally what Moviepass is, but essentially it's a unlimited subscription service where you can watch basically unlimited movies. Up to one movie a day in theaters, for just one set price. And that is, at this point, it's I believe $89.95, I want to say, for an entire year. Or when I signed up for about $10 a month, or maybe it was like $9.95. That's basically the gist of it. You see movies in theaters and you just use your Moviepass card. Basically, they send you a debit card in the mail and you use that just like you would any debit or credit card at the desk or at the kiosk when you're going to the movies. So, what are the pros and cons of this service? So number one, let's talk about the pros. So the absolute biggest benefit to the service is the price. I mean, it's really an unbeatable deal, really any way you look at it. And the nice thing is that the theaters are getting the full revenue for Moviepass. So you pay a discounted rate, but Moviepass is paying the theaters the full price of the movie. So you know that you're not hurting the movie theaters. However, there has been some controversy about that. I know AMC is not a big fan of Moviepass, but at least in the short term, they are getting their full revenue for their ticket sales. For me, I live in a big city where ticket prices for movie theaters are pretty expensive. The cheap one I go to is like $12 per movie, up to like $14 or $15, depending on what theater I go to, and if I go to one with like the reserved seating. So Moviepass, I have the $90 a year version, so it's a lot less than that for just one movie. So as long as I see one movie a month, I have more than made up my money. And I love going to the movies. I've been going to the movies more than at least usually one time a month before I had Moviepass. So now I'm going like multiple times a month, sometimes like once a week. So definitely the bargain is just an unreal deal. So if you're someone who goes to the movies anytime, relatively frequently, or you think that you would be interested in doing so, I would definitely try out Moviepass if you can. The second pro is it pretty much works like anywhere, anytime. There are no blackout days. There's no blackout movies. You can see movies opening weekend. The first day they come out, as long as there are tickets available for sale, you can buy them with Moviepass. So that's really awesome. It's worked at pretty much every theater I go to. I believe that they say it works at like 90% or more of movie theaters in the US. So those are definitely the two biggest pros and really the big selling points of Moviepass. And the third thing I just want to say is like, it's not a scam. It definitely works. I've probably been to maybe 10 movies or something at this point. It's worked every single time. I am a little bit like scared of going to the counter where I actually talk to a human, because I'm worried that they're going to like be weird about the Moviepass or like somehow not take it. So I've just been going to the kiosks, but every single time it's worked. And I don't really see any reason why it wouldn't work if I went to the desk, but it's just kind of me being paranoid that they're not going to let me use it or something like that. But overall, those are the big pros of the service. Now, there are a few cons that I think are pretty important to consider if you are thinking about MoviePass. So number one, they do change their plans and pricing relatively frequently. So I don't necessarily have as like long-term confidence necessarily in the company, and it may just be difficult for you as a customer to sign up later with the same price. They might change the plan or packages on you. I know that when they recently launched the yearly subscription for $89, I believe they made that the only option for new subscribers at that time. So when I signed up, I did the 1 month, month by month plan. However, when they launched the annual subscription, they essentially removed the month by month plan for new subscribers. So I could, as an existing subscriber, could choose to go to the yearly plan, but someone who's coming in after me would not be able to do so. So that's a bit of a negative, and I feel like there's definitely just uncertainty about how the plans will shape up in the future and kind of what those numbers are going to look like. Kind of along those lines, I think probably the biggest negative of MoviePass is just the uncertainty in general about the company, not just about the plans and how much it's going to cost, but is the company even going to be around in 6 months or a year? There's definitely pretty big consensus that at the current moment, MoviePass is not sustainable. They are paying a lot more out to movie theaters than I think that they're going to be getting in as revenue. So there's probably going to be some changes to the business model, whether it's incorporating some sort of advertising or something like that, or potentially with the yearly subscription, they're hoping that people will sign up and then forget about it and not really be as active or engaged or not see movies every month. That's a potential option, but there's definitely a lot of uncertainty about the brand itself, and we don't really know how long the company is going to last, and that makes it a little bit of an uneasy decision to actually go in for the yearly subscription. But personally, my philosophy on it is I'm going to try to go to as many movies as I can early on. So at least if 3 months from now the company goes belly up, then at least I know I've gotten my money's worth and I've seen $90 worth of movies, and then it's all good from that point. So that's the other big con. I would say the next thing that is a negative of MoviePass is that the app is pretty glitchy. So far it's worked in the most important aspects in terms of being able to see movies and being able to adequately get my movies paid for. But there have been some glitches. For example, the history where you can look back and see all the movies you went to, kind of paused for a month, and basically none of the movies that I saw during that time frame showed up on my history. And then they fixed it, and so basically at this point I can see only movies that I saw at the very beginning and at the very end, but nothing during that time frame. So that's just kind of an example of a glitchy thing that's happened with the app. That can be a negative, and it's kind of a symptom of perhaps a larger issue, perhaps, that it is a new company, that they're getting a ton of new subscribers. The company has really exploded in the last few months, and there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. There's going to be some glitches that come with that, so that's a negative, just to keep in mind. The next thing is a little bit more of a personal preference, but is a bit of an annoyance that I have. So when you're using MoviePass, you can only use one person at a time. So what I really wish MoviePass would have is some sort of couples plan or something where you could pay double the amount. I mean, I'm not saying get 2 people for the price of 1, but I wish there was a couples plan where you could pay double the price and get a card that would allow you to buy 2 movie tickets at once. So basically, if I'm going to the movies with my boyfriend, for example, we'll have to go together, and then we each have to go up separately and pay, which is a bit of an annoying thing. Ideally we would just pay together, and then we can not have to each go up and it just takes twice as long. I like to just like get in and get out of the kiosk and not have to like do 2 separate transactions. So that's a bit of a negative. I wish they had a shared plan where you could use 2 people or maybe even a family plan. That would be awesome. But unfortunately they don't at this time. And then the last thing that is just more of me being greedy, but is still a bit of an annoying thing, is that you can only actually purchase the tickets if you're at the theater. You can't pre-book the tickets in advance. So this is basically really where this comes into play, is if you're going to like a really popular movie where you know all the tickets are going to be sold out, or if you're going to a theater where you can reserve your seats, perhaps in the ones that have like the reclining chairs and all of that. A lot of times those tickets can sell out, and the challenge is that if you have to actually be at the theater, then it kind of like negates the purpose of going to a theater where you reserve your seats, because kind of the whole benefit of that is to be able to reserve it and not have to like rush to try to find a seat. So that's a negative. So far I've been able to get around that. Sometimes if I'm doing like errands earlier in the day, I can go in the morning, buy the tickets for an evening show and still get the tickets in advance, but not actually get them immediately before the show. You can get them earlier in the day to kind of get around some of that problem, but it's definitely not nearly as convenient as just paying full price online and getting your tickets in advance. But overall, I would say so far the process of using MoviePass has been awesome. It's definitely not a scam. It actually works. However, of course, there are some really big uncertainties with the company. Will the company be around? Will movie theaters find a way to block MoviePass and basically make the service irrelevant and totally not useful at all? Those are big questions. But I think if you're someone that likes movies, it may be worth the risk. I know for me, it definitely is. I'm just gonna try to see a lot of movies so I can make sure to get my money's worth, just in case anything does happen with the company. So that's it. If you've used MoviePass and have had similar or different experiences to me, definitely let me know down below. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.